guys, and welcome back to the English shooting live stream here at the Blue Fieldsports gunroom. And as always, I'm joined by Conners, the founder of Magload. And if you don't know about Magload, well, you'll definitely know a bit more by the end of this evening.
I mean, I make every stream better just by being here.
You do. So many people preferred last week to the weeks before. Maybe I should just leave you to it.
Definitely. Hands up if you think we should rename English shooting to Conners shooting.
No.
Come
no,
on,
please
I want to vote in the comments.
But I hope you've all been having a fantastic week. Obviously, the weather has been absolutely fantastic, if not a little too hot.
Yes.
So perfect range weather. It's rare that we get a whole week of sunshine here in the UK. That was nice to see, although we didn't actually make any use of it because we were too busy sweating and moaning that it was too hot. So that was a missed opportunity.
And now it's too cold.
That it's too wet.
It's too wet.
Like, cold is fine.
Is it ever too wet?
Wow. So it's the same format as always. Put your comments.
Getting a lot of hands up, by the way. I'm just going to put that out there.
Right, I don't know why I bother.
Yep.
So it's
Callum, you're fired.
Okay, right. See you later. I'm going to go for a plate.
You are the weakest link.
So standard format, or not, unless you don't want me. You don't want me to be here. Ask any questions or any topics you want to talk about in the comments section. We'll try and get through all of them. We have a few topics and points of conversations that we want to talk about ourselves.
Some interesting stuff happened this week.
Yeah, it's been a reasonably busy week, as it always seems to be really with firearms. There's always something interesting to talk about. But let's have a look at what questions you've already put in there. We've got Ash Mahmood. Can bolt action rifle be converted semi-auto? It's just a question.
No, there's no method really. Well,
you do get some sort of...
No, there is something that was tried like pre-World War One, but it didn't work. No. Go check out Forgotten Weapons for more. I can't remember the exact name of the device, but it was a bolt-on device for...
So wait, you're trying to get rid of me from the channel, and now you're trying to send people to other channels?
Yeah, you know what? Forgotten Weapons is genuinely a much better channel than this one could ever be, so go check it out.
But it doesn't have me.
Even better.
But no, I mean, in terms of laws here, if you want to talk about it legally here in the UK, well, unless it was 2.2, if it was a 2.2 rimfire, you could convert it into semi-auto, but otherwise you wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, but bolt action, it's like... There is one ancient device which was capable of doing it. It's very old. It never worked as far as I understand it. So the answer is probably no.
And we've got Andrew Claxton with the incoming offensive weapons bill 2.0. Do you think it will include sub 12-foot air guns needing a license? Now, we've had it confirmed by Basque. They did a live stream of their own a couple of weeks ago, and they did say that air guns are very much on the agenda. Typical Basque fashion, they didn't give a lot more information than that. They have a lot of suspicions on what is going to be included, and they have preemptively written a letter or are putting together a report to be able to counter what they suspect is going to be included, but they haven't divulged any of that information to the public yet. The suspicion is going to be yes. Why would they start looking at air guns? How are they going to restrict air guns any further without bringing in licenses? I mean, you already have to be 18 to be able to buy one. Perhaps, I guess the only thing that they can really bring in that makes it harsher without, or harder to get one without licensing, is by saying that anyone under the age of 18 can't use it, but that would make no sense because...
No, I mean, Germany has some quite... Denmark has some quite draconian laws on the age at which you can even fire an airsoft gun. But the trouble is, there are so many air guns in circulation, you know? You're good, and same with previous bans, like the offensive weapons bill.
Yeah.
You can ban something, but if you don't communicate it to people, how many people are going to be out there who are who don't even know that their gun has been banned? And with air guns especially, at least you know
you are just going to unknowingly. Well, people are going to unknowingly be made into criminals overnight. I mean, it's a point that we have discussed with the offensive weapons bill before. Is that actually are there any owners out there that are actually completely oblivious? You know, there's a good...
I suspect there are. Like, I used to shoot at a club where a gentleman owned mild action. It was actually the first time I ever saw one. And he is certainly not the type of person who's going to be on Facebook and everywhere and seeing all this media about it. And I'm fairly sure if a club member just came up to him and said, "Oh, do you know your gun's illegal now?" he'd probably just laugh it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Because why would he? Unless he gets a letter from his FLD, he has no way of knowing about that gun.
I mean, you know, someone that I know 100%, apart from obviously me being able to inform him, was my late granddad. He had a lovely collection of different air guns. He's definitely the typical person that they could outright ban air guns tomorrow, and he wouldn't have had the faintest idea. You know, yes, he watches, say, the news, but isn't on social media. And I mean, it's already been shown in Scotland. They estimate the millions or hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of air guns that are in Scotland, and it was some tiny percentage that were ever actually licensed or handed in. So, you know, putting one and one together, it goes to show that there are now millions of air guns in Scotland that are now in unlawful possession, and that could be very deliberate. People could be doing that knowingly, but as we're talking about, there could be a lot of people that have absolutely no idea, and then it just sort of makes a whole farce of it all. You know, has airgun crime reduced? No,
because airgun crime is, of course, going to increase.
Well, yeah, it's going to increase, of course, but also the people that are going to be committing these awful crimes with air guns are not the sort of people that are A, ever going to be accepted for a license, or B, are going to get a license. So, yes, in I guess the short answer to your question, yes, I very much think that licensing is going to be on the cards on the next round of consultations.
Do we think it's a good idea? No.
Again, and we are by far not against gun laws.
No, like the current processes for firearms certificate and things like that, at least I think I can speak for both of us and say we completely agree with the way firearms certificates are issued. We wish that once you have a firearms certificate, more types of firearms might be available to you.
Absolutely.
Even through maybe more further checks and balances, that's still not a problem. I mean,
well, I've even raised the point before about shotgun certificates. Is that, you know, you're wanting to be a very, you know, safe and a sort of thoughtful and self-regulating community. At the moment, as it stands, you don't need to show any level of skill or experience to gain a shotgun certificate. And I would say that, you know, to protect ourselves, we want to make sure that everyone out there on the playgrounds, out on, say, game shoots, out there rough shooting on the pigeons, that they have some basic level of understanding for safe gun handling. And at the moment, the way it is with shotgun certificates, it does leave a slight little gap that someone that doesn't have what I think everyone would agree to be a minimum level of, say, firearms handling, it doesn't quite ensure that. Now, I'm not saying that they should bring it in, but it's certainly something that I think should be open for discussion. But this is why we get so passionate about proposals like airgun licensing, because we know firearms inside and out. We know the community, we know the laws, we are certainly aware of all the violators of those laws, and, you know, we don't want laws being broken, we don't want people being hurt, but these laws that we think are going to be brought in, just like, say, the offensive weapons bill, it's very hard to see how it is actually going to either reduce crime or prevent it, which is, of course, the real crux of it, of bringing in these laws. So, you know, we're all for it. If there's a problem, if there's an issue, then yes, it needs to be addressed. But the way it's addressed needs to actually achieve something. And again, you know, the golden nugget in this example is, of course, the handgun ban. Still today...
Calm down. Breathe. Rant over people.
No. 40% of all crime is gun crime or firearm offences is committed with handguns. So what did banning them achieve? You know, we just end up going round in circles.
I'm going to go through some of the comments quickly. Smearald is not the Pedersen device. Pedersen device is to convert, I forget which gun, to shoot a 30 caliber carbine. There was a universal device that operated the bolt action of a gun. Any plans for matches coming in the meantime? Yes, there are several. So we have Worcester Norton tomorrow and Saturday.
Which you're going to be in attendance.
Long barrel pistol will be ROing and shooting on the Friday.
Can spectators attend?
No, because of social distancing. So Worcester Norton are taking it quite seriously.
Okay.
If you're asking if you can come along.
No, I just meant if there was anybody that was watching that would like to learn a little bit more about practical shooting.
No, I think Worcester Norton are quite locked up because this match has been organised for quite a while. They've already made up all the rules for this particular match.
Okay.
However, something a little more open to people is the shotgun match on Saturday, which is 30 minutes from us here down south. We are near Winchester. I think the match is about 30 minutes from Winchester.
It's sort of the Basingstoke.
Be a good one. It's a KFC match, so you know it's going to be fun, and all the people will be fun. So yeah, why not?
And that's a practical shotgun. They've got both Section 1 and Section 2 divisions. We know that you do have to be a KFC member to be able to attend, but you can be a probational member.
Mm-hmm. So if you've had your membership in, you're free to come and play with us.
Do you think? I mean, I did see that David was in the chat, so thanks David for joining us. And David is running the match, so maybe he can answer whether there's still time for somebody to join KFC and actually shoot the match.
There is not currently time for you to join KFC and shoot the match. If you already have an FAC, please do inquire, and we'll look at it a case-by-case basis.
Yep.
But for anyone without an FAC, you won't be able to attend this match. But if you want to attend the next one, join KFC. It's probably one of the cheapest clubs in the country to join.
Yep.
They shoot all disciplines, all over the place. Even if one event doesn't take your fancy, the next one probably will. So.
But yeah, if you're interested in learning a bit more about PSG, even though you might not be able to shoot it, come along, get in contact with KFC, they can give you the details, and come and see Practical Shotgun in action. Both Connors and I will be shooting the match, so we will be there. And we've got to give a little plug to Magload, because there will be some semblance of a Magload stall or stand there. So, well,
are you selling crap out the back of my car again?
Well, you know, it just fell off the back of a lorry, honest.
Oh, I'm not Andy Haynes, you know.
We've got a proper stand somewhere. So, on the note of KFC and also David Kiddle, there is the opportunity, and I don't believe this is solely for KFC members, it might be, but there's more than enough time to join if you're interested in this. But there is going to be a trip to Prague. It's something
it's quite short notice.
Very short notice.
It's quite cheap.
But very, very cheap. So we have both been out to Prague twice to shoot. It's an incredible experience. They're not as free in what you can do as, say, in America, but it's certainly a lot better than.
It's a lot cheaper and a lot quicker than going to America as well. Yeah. And one thing, I haven't been to America. Hopefully that'll change soon. I haven't been to America, but the food is cheap and good.
Oh yeah.
Like Czech was the first place we went where we saw that the water was more expensive than the beer.
It's absolutely ridiculous out there, and we had an amazing time.
And don't try to find still water; it doesn't exist.
No, it's all. If you don't like sparkling water, then you probably shouldn't go.
Or just drink beer when you're out there.
But that's pretty much what we did. Apart from on the range, of course. So
not while you were handling firearms.
No, absolutely not. So the Prague trips, we've been twice. I didn't cover it on English Shooting because it was actually during the period that English Shooting was shut down. I do have a load of footage somewhere of it, so I might have to sort of make a video.
Was that Prague?
Prague, yes.
I think it's on your channel. It's the you did a promo video.
No, it's on Gunroom TV.
Oh, it's on Gunroom TV.
So if you want to see, it's actually one of the first videos on Gunroom TV. If you want to go and have a look and get a taste.
I'm off camera. Okay. What I'm going to do, keep it quiet.
Okay. Don't worry, he's winding up the router.
Yeah.
But yes, Prague. So let's give a bit of details.
If you want matches, there are matches. Prague is going to be a lot of fun.
So it's Saturday the 5th and Sunday the 6th of September. So 2 full days of shooting there on the range. It's predominantly a handgun trip, but last time we ended up shooting stuff like 416s, MP5s.
I think David said that this one is going to be handguns and MP5s. He says Glocks and MP5s, but knowing David, there'll be more than just Glocks.
So the shoot package to go out to Prague, so it's less than a month away, only a few weeks away actually. The shoot package is £300, and that includes 300 rounds of 9mm ammo, the gun hire, range time, and other ancillaries while you're on the range.
And as I said, it's 2 days worth of shooting you're getting for that?
Two days. The local hotel, which I believe we stayed in last time, which was absolutely amazing.
Pretty good.
A nice little pizza place as well.
Yeah.
Is £30 a night. And if you share, that's going to get even cheaper. Flights are currently £61 return from Stansted, or £110 return from
So
Heathrow.
about 400 quid all in. You've got a weekend away shooting handguns. You know,
Yeah.
what more do you want in life?
And you might think, oh, what about the spending money? You really don't need a lot of spending money out
10,
there.
15 quid?
Yeah, it's the meals. I mean, we ended up going the table that we were on, which was 5 or 6 people, 3-course steak dinner with wine, came to something like £120.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just and it's like one of the best steaks we've ever had.
Oh yeah. And I know that some people have asked the question whether or not Callum and I are going. Well, that depends how many of you guys choose to go.
So yeah, we very much want to. We are going out. Obviously, the plan is still to go out to America in October.
Mm-hmm.
It's also my girlfriend's 30th birthday in the beginning of October.
Minor detail.
Minor detail, but it's going to be a very expensive few months for me. But yeah, if you're interested, you can get in contact with me through all the usual means. You can get in contact with Conners, or you can drop KFC an email, or get in contact with David Kiddle, who is here in the stream. So no reason not to go if you are interested. I do know as well, Carl. I think English Shooting's #1 fan, certainly English Shooting's #1 supporter, is going out there as well. So it would be great to see you out there, Carl. So you know that Daniel Smerald's here. Thanks for joining us, Smeghead. As some people
If Dan's going, we have to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, who else is going to rip the shit out of it?
Well, actually, talking about that,
are we going to talk about sites?
Yes, that literally what I was just about to try and get onto.
Let's talk about this. Dan, I'm sorry.
Yes, Dan. So we've talked a little bit, I think, on the stream. I've had the gun on the stream. I've been reviewing the Trijicon MRO HD. Well, it's probably for about 2 or 3 months, because Daniel very, very kindly, he bought this new Gucci bit of kit and sent it straight down to me to review. And let's just say that I wasn't too impressed. Connors wasn't too impressed, and Alex wasn't too impressed as well. Bearing in mind this is Trijicon, it's one of the names. It's got a load of hype around it.
Yes, and a very big price tag. Its performance had to match its very big price tag.
Yes, so I believe the MRO HD is about £750 here in the UK. And then you go and spend, say, another £150 on a Scalar Works mount. Now, I've sent the optic back, and I am actually currently editing the review, so that will be out in a few days, so keep an eye out for that. So whilst all of our initial impressions were really, really bad of the MRO, we've sort of gone like 180 degrees on ourselves. So Daniel, based on our initial reaction to the dot, decided to exchange it for a refund. Now, the reason is because there were artifacts on the optic, something you really don't expect for that price point and that quality of optic. However, Trijicon are aware of this, and they've put their hands up and they've said that's not what we expect either. So there is another iteration of the MRO HD, which hopefully should fix this issue.
And as we all know, you can do as we know at least, you can do all the testing in the world, and a flaw comes out in production that you just don't catch.
Yeah, and bearing in mind that Trijicon, there's many in the company and many places all over the world that end up having an input. So somewhere down along, something has obviously gone wrong. However, I still don't think the MRO HD is a competition scope. So the difference is that the HD has 2 reticles. It has an EOTech reticle.
That's where the problem comes from.
And it is. So it has the EOTech reticle, and then a 2 MOA dot. And the problem that we were getting is that because of the other EOTech large, I think it's a 68 MOA reticle, it produces, because it's got a huge sort of silicon, not sensor, I actually say in the review sensor, it's not a sensor, but
it's the dye.
Yeah, it's basically the PCB, the silicon dye, and it ends up reflecting on the glass. So you end up with all these artifacts.
Which is really interesting, because I thought for that money that it was a holographic sight, but it turns out it's not. It's a reflex sight in a tube, which then begs the question of why is it so much money?
So there was all these things, but basically the conclusion that we've come to after using it for a number of months in many different situations, from stills, just general plinking, 3-gun matches, so on and so forth, we're actually very, very impressed. It's got a huge aperture for, or objective. Is it aperture or objective?
I don't know what you call it, because it's the window, because it's a reflex. It's not holographic.
And the field of view
it's a very good reflex sight.
Yes, and the field of view is absolutely phenomenal, which is one of their biggest.
The body sort of disappears as you look through it, like the Razor HD does. The scope.
It is, it may look to begin with a little bulky. But certainly when you compare it to all the other alternatives, it slims right down, you get a huge field of view.
For anyone, you can get a shield reflex sight, that's an 1/8 of the size.
Exactly, and we were shooting, I know this isn't necessarily the full performance of the optic, but we were using the 2.2 semi-automatic 15-22, and we were shooting at 100 yards with it on a standard IPSC, or it was even one of the smaller IPSC targets, not the minis, but the minis.
No, they were minis. Yeah, so IPSC minis at 100 metres,
and
100 yards.
And there was enough resolution in the dot to be able to see at 100 yards if you were on the side of it or on centre or the other side.
Well, I actually managed to get pretty decent groupings. They were in the D zone, but the groupings were good.
Yes.
At the end of the day, the gun wasn't zeroed, as we found out.
No. We've been discussing the past few days about the potential of moving over to a standard MRO. We both agree that the EOTech, the 68 MOA EOTech style reticle is not the way to go for competition. Nope. We can understand, obviously, Trijicon being sort of a military and police brand for sort of close quarters combat, and personal protection and stuff like that. The big reticle where you need to react really, really quickly to a threat might be a big plus.
But for competition, that 2 MOA dot, which even with my astigmatism is beautifully crisp and clear. This is why I thought it was a holographic.
Yeah.
Was the dot is perfectly round, and I was talking to Ben Ducker about this actually. You get this sort of, with a laser, this sort of like stippling effect in the laser dot, which some people are sensitive to, some people are not. Certainly myself and Ben are. I didn't get that with the MRO, which makes me think it's an LED. So it's an LED reflex sight in a tube. It should only be 100 quid. But the combination of what they've done with it just works to give you a perfectly round dot without any stippling in it, even if you've got an astigmatism. Again, it should not cost the amount it does for what it is, but you can't get anything else like it, so I guess we're both buying one.
Well, that's it. It was actually today you did some research.
Last night I looked through every manufacturer I could, Holosun, Sightmark, Aimpoint, Vortex of course, but they've got the UH1, but that's it's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
The thing is, we said that about the MRO as well, so if we had one down to review, certainly we would.
Well, I did have one of the subscribers that brought down their gun. I can't remember who it was or what gun it was on, but I used it, and it reminded me very, very much of an EOTech. Not necessarily, although again the reticle is very similar to EOTech on it. But it's just a very big unit. The thing about the MRO is that when you put it on the Scalar Works mount, which is beautiful, it's a beautiful bit of kit. In terms of the machinery and the design and geometry of it, and you put it on there and it's so diddy, it's so light. And so where all of this for me came about was that whilst I absolutely love the Razor HD, and I know Connors and many other people disagree with me on this point.
Do I?
Yes, well, you disagree. It's a good chance that you disagree with me on it. Well, you're talking to, I think, Ben Ducker and Josh Hicks about this. So I find that because the 15-22 is a very light rifle...
Oh yes, I do disagree with that.
I'm shocked. The Razor HD being quite a bulky scope, and quite a heavy scope. It makes it top heavy, and it makes what is, for me, one of the biggest points of the 1522 is...
That's your problem right there.
Oh, but for mini rifle, well, we'll get onto this in a minute with the battle arms. I don't get why people are so obsessed with having the full weight ARs for mini rifle. I want them to be as light and as pointable and maneuverable as possible. And I feel that putting quite a lumpy, it's not a lumpy scope, but quite a heavy scope.
It's right. Let's clarify a few points here.
Yeah.
The scope is heavy, but it is not bulky.
No,
it's actually quite a slim scope for what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just heavy, and it makes the 1522 top heavy, which...
I don't find a problem with that, and no one else we've spoken to finds that they have a problem with that.
So I'm just weird. What a shock, right?
Yeah, you are just weak.
Weird. I said weird.
I said weak.
I'm weird and weak. There we go. You heard it here first. But also,
not first.
I just feel that the main benefit of the 1522 is the lightness, and then putting something that is quite heavy it doesn't sit right. So the MRO is small, it's compact, it's lightweight.
It's not that lightweight, but it's not heavy, and certainly with a I'd be interested to try it with a magnifier.
As would I.
Yeah, it has a lot going for it. Still disagree with the price on the thing, because it's an LED driven tube red dot, which can be had on eBay for 15 quid.
Well, the thing is, the standard MRO with just the 2 MOA dot, I think the RRP in the UK is £550.
I think it's still twice the price it should be.
So there is that. Yeah. Although we can't talk about it, but there might be a potential discount soon. Potential, but that's all I say. So if you're interested,
news to me.
If you're interested in Introductory,
is it discounted to free?
No, I think it's.
Then I'm not interested.
It's certainly discounted at a good enough price for you not to be a whingy old man.
You just keep spending my money.
No, you do that on your own.
And then you do it too, and then I have no money.
Well, yeah, you can't do it, and I can't not do it either. It's got to be fair.
It's my money.
Anyway, it's research and development. But actually, on that note, I'm sure you don't mind. We want to talk about it because this is again on the MRO. If you're not interested in Introductory or MRO, I'm really sorry. But you actually made a bit of a counterfeit purchase, didn't you?
Yes, we are.
And this is for a video as well.
So we're going to do a comparison video on the real thing versus a fake Trijicon and show you the differences, why you should or should not be buying counterfeit optics.
Trijicon are sat there going, oh.
Well, the thing is optics are one of those things you should spend a lot of money on.
Yeah.
Like, you can cheap out on the rifle, you can cheap out on like your grips or whatever, or just don't buy anything. Do not cheap out on an optic, and that is sage advice from many experienced shooters. So we're going to prove it.
Yeah, so I think, for £38?
No, it came out to £26, like $36, I think it was.
Okay, so like...
and it comes with like a mount not too dissimilar from the Scale Works.
So for like 30 quid all in, delivered to your door...
we just, to put it out there, we do not advocate buying counterfeit goods.
No, absolutely not.
For many reasons. Okay, there's the whole thing about diddling the manufacturers, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But also... the chances are it's going to fail on you.
Yes.
Right when you need it not to fail on you, in the middle of a stage or something like that.
Yeah. So we're interested in our own sort of research, and of course I'm going to video that. We're going to make a video on it and show you the difference.
Yeah, I've had an experience before with a counterfeit Trijicon product, which was indistinguishable from the real thing, even according to Trijicon's guides.
Yeah.
Now you look through it. And you look through a Trijicon and you can tell the difference. But looking at their guides online on how to spot counterfeits, it passed every test. So I'm interested to see how this one does.
Well, for me, there's a whole thing within the watch community as well, which is you do not buy fakes. And actually, what the advice is like, of course, everyone wants to be able to go and buy a £20,000 Audemars Piguet or AP. But there are genuinely good watches at the £200, £300, £400, £500 mark, right? It's still a chunk of money, but you can go and get something genuine that is actually still pretty good, and that's what they always recommend, and that might end up being the case with with the sights, which is, yes, you can have something with Trijicon down the side of it for 20 quid, but actually maybe if you go and spend 100 quid
on like a lesser brand but a genuine product,
you'll probably end up with a much better optic overall. So
still
we're just
like 26 quid.
Yes, it's gonna have to be.
Where's your phone?
Why? Oh God, this is an embarrassment to me most times I go out. So you know that's what I think most people will say to those that buy counterfeits.
Yeah.
I know Daniel was the one that gave you that sticker, and it's given me
as well as many other stickers.
As well as many other stickers as well.
Which apparently I've not found all of yet.
No, so Daniel came down with a big bag of anime stickers. Anime, is that the right?
I would say it's more hentai than anime.
Hentai, there we go, keeping it classy as always.
Lewd cartoon pictures.
And I ended up sticking them in... Well, first of all, one ended up on my car, which is still on it.
Bit faded.
Because it is...
0 out of 10 would not stick again.
But... What were you talking?
Phrasing.
What were you talking about earlier about being too wet? So it's sticky. The floor is sticky. The desk is sticky. I had a vape accident the other day. That I got very sticky.
Everything was sticky.
But
you had a cat accident the other day.
We really shouldn't talk about that.
Poor Nala. She's been eating something rough.
She fucking has.
Language.
It's my stream. If I want to be abusive and swear every now and then have at it. But yeah, so anime stickers have ended up everywhere in the office and a few places that Connors. Where was the last one you found?
On my FAC.
So you reach
on my pouch for my FAC. So it's inside my pouch. So I went to open it because I needed to put something on there.
And where your face should have been.
Where my face should have been, there was some buttocks.
Yes, I did have a bit of a laugh at that.
I'm not actually complaining. Just put it out there.
It was funny. I'm just waiting for the retaliation. It's going to be
the retaliation's already happened.
Oh no! Just a quick side question. We're talking about anime and whatnot, hentai. So
if we're going to talk about anime, we can talk for a very long time. But anime and hentai are not the same thing. You understand that, right?
No, it's roughly all the same. Skinner, 2004. Did you buy the Civic? No, I didn't. So anyone
it was a shit box.
It was. It absolutely was. We expected as much.
No, we expected it to be messy on the outside because that's how he'd advertised it.
Yeah, it was not good.
And then he said, before you went down there, it might need new pads and rotors.
And then it was like, okay, what else?
Yeah. The wheels were being held onto the hubs by rust.
Yeah,
it did VTEC though.
I experienced proper naturally aspirated VTEC behind the driver's wheel for all of about half a second.
It was that much more thrilling because you knew the car could fall apart at any second and had no brakes.
Had no brakes. Absolutely no brakes. So I hit VTEC, and then had to very, very quickly hit on the brakes. But unfortunately,
it still took like a good 200 yards to slow down from 30.
It was hairy. It was very,
especially
very
when
hairy.
that tractor came up the road.
Yeah, a little bit of wee came out. So anyway, if anyone knows of a facelift Civic EP3 Type R in maybe a bit rough around the edges, but solid engine, solid mechanical, under 100,000 miles, hit me up.
The discs and brakes.
Easy
the
fix.
discs and pads didn't bother us.
No.
The lacquer didn't bother us. The sort of nasty-ish interior didn't bother us. The fact that the oil didn't even register on the dipstick and the guy had been storing it like that for don't know how long and driving it periodically.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for a car that needs oil.
The thing is, it's a naturally aspirated engine that screams up to 8,000-9,000 RPM. The number one golden rule with older naturally aspirated VTEC Hondas is you do not get low on oil. And this thing didn't even register. But anyway, that's...
Well, he had a litre of oil in the back of the car. Again, warning sign, along with jump leads. Warning sign. And the car was connected to a solar panel when we got there. Warning sign.
Yeah, so good consumer advice here.
So the oil was in the back of the car. So we put a litre of oil into the engine and it only just registered on the minimum mark.
Yeah, it was not good. But anyway, that's enough about cars. We're here to talk about guns. Nick from the Gun Owners Association. Hi Nick, thanks for
Don't
joining.
bring us any more cartridges, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not Nick. That's
No, that's Paul. But
yeah,
Nick
Paul.
is like his partner in crime.
Nick is the one who just sits there and laughs at us after relying on the frog crying in pain.
I genuinely think my back has only just recovered from those cartridges.
You are weak.
I am. I alone am best. Do you reckon English?
You must die. I alone am best.
Do you reckon that English shooting will ever do an introduction into live quarry shooting and the equipment used for such purposes? Now,
Gunroom TV.
Gunroom TV, yes. Gunroom TV does cover a lot more live quarry, certainly game shooting and rough shooting. It has, yes, it's been something I've talked about year upon year upon year. It's something I want to learn more about, I want to get into. I mean, I have absolutely no excuse being based on a 1,000-acre estate where there is lots of quarry to shoot. It's mainly about time, but also I need to learn it myself, and I have, I always say I am not an expert on anything, right? Maybe getting in trouble, but I'm not an expert on even say competition shooting or IPSC or whatever, right? I have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge, and that's what I tend to try and pass on. And
He knows fuck all about deadly squad, still makes videos on it.
somehow it's worked for like 7 years.
Stop encouraging it.
But anyway, so the way English shooting started was that I was learning stuff, I was gaining a little bit of experience, and whatever I had learned or I had experienced, I would just share on YouTube.
Have you ever experienced a bullpup?
Yes, I have. I think. Wait, is that in front of the mic or
was
behind?
that the Chris Vector by any chance?
Yeah, that was it. British shooting show. No,
I'm not a competition come people.
No. Stop trying to make it happen. It's not going to happen. Neither is Hawk Sights for practical. That's
What are you talking about?
Anyway, so basically, I just don't feel as much as Connors say I don't have any knowledge or experience or expertise in anything.
We went to try and buy a shitbox EP3 when the advert said it was a shitbox and it was like way overpriced.
I was looking for a shitbox. I was looking for a product.
I've got a shitbox right here.
Yeah, you're enough maintenance as it is.
Don't stop now.
I don't know. You were firing on all cylinders earlier.
Oh dear.
Longest fart ever. He needed to get it out get it out of himself.
You fed me cheese.
I did. We had a lovely McDonald's
That was
breakfast
a
this
nice
morning.
surprise.
It did. I turned up. See, that's just the loving guy I am. I mean, Magload paid for it, but anyway.
Yeah, so I paid for it without my knowledge, and because I paid for it, I got to have some of it.
Do you wish I hadn't got it? Maybe without cheese.
Maybe without cheese.
So anyway, what were we talking about? Completely lost it. Anyway,
Bullpups.
not bullpups. Quarry.
Daniel laughs in Desert Tech.
So anyway, in terms of quarry, I need to get a bit more experience myself, or I need someone who is willing to stand out in front of a camera with me for a significant period of time to explain it. Ideally, be photogenic. I know I had to settle with Connors, but basically, I just don't feel that. Apart from doing Callum makes a titicism.
That's a new word. Everything Callum does is a titicism.
No.
And now you need to try and say titicism.
Titicism.
That's not bad. Not bad at all.
Basically, at the moment, if I was to make a video on live quarry, it would be me making a tit of myself, which is probably actually better entertainment than what I usually do. So maybe I'll just go out and do it. I'll bite the bullet and we're ghost stalking or something. Or game season is starting up, so there will definitely be the opportunity this year to sort of. What are you talking about? I made a game video last year. Was that enough? That not enough?
It made quite a few game videos last year.
Only one on English shooting though.
Yeah, but on Gunroom TV, there's quite a
Yes.
lot of stuff on there, and if you're interested in seeing a bit more about it, because I have to admit, when I went trying to look up videos on game shooting, there was some awful videos from that guy with the glasses. and not much else. A lot of syndicate shooting. If you want to really know about driven days, there's not a lot of videos out there. So
No,
maybe Alex would do a lot more of those sorts of videos this year.
Is that like a foot long hot dog?
You what now?
Alex, quick go. Alex isn't here. Take it. Get it.
Take his hot dog.
Get it. It's huge. It's huge. Anyway.
I think he's left the room as well.
Yes, quick, grab it.
Yeah.
No, just go grab it and put it there. Quick. Dun 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 dun.
No, I'm not messing. Don't mess with a man's dinner.
Especially when it's a foot long hot dog.
Doesn't look at me and I can't look enviously at it.
What's that next to it? Is that like a block of cheese?
I think it's another Frankfurter.
So wait, he's got a side of sausage with his sausage.
Bit of sausage fest.
Anyway, well, I digress. Of course I'm digesting. Anyway, what are you guys, apart from laughing your heads off at us?
I don't think they are. I think a lot of people have switched off. We were very all over the place tonight.
We are. It's the heat. We've only just about recovered. It only just about got cool today. Sing Shooter, what's the topic, guys? What have I missed? A lot. A lot of arguments, a lot of us taking the piss out of each other. Usual deal. Oh, I forgot to say, hit the thumbs up button. I always say it. It does make a big difference. It puts a smile on our faces. Makes us feel all warm and fuzzy inside, but it does support the channel as well.
Some of us are fuzzy on the outside.
You should see the office floor. Seriously.
Can I put that in? Can I?
No. I will ban you, and you know who I'm talking about.
Is there a way I can put that in the stream?
No, you have to send it to Alex.
Okay, alright, I'll do that. But Alex he's gone off and left us with his sausage.
I'm coming back.
Alright, I'll send it to Alex. And
What are you doing? What have I done?
And then
we're admiring your foot-long sausage.
Yeah.
That is a good hot dog, man.
It's very big.
You
is it actually
almost lost it.
Yeah. What's next to it?
It's another hot dog.
Can you, like, everyone's now really...
Everyone wants to know what you're having for dinner. Come on.
Here we go. There's a bit closer. See?
You can't...
Where is...
Yeah,
it's bigger than it looks. It's a big plate.
I've heard you say that before.
Yeah. Yeah, Alex, can you pop that picture up on the stream, please?
No, don't humour him. He doesn't need any encouragement.
What picture?
No.
I've sent it to him in Messenger.
Oh,
No.
it's not open. It's not all there.
Alright, moving swiftly onwards.
Daniel Smerald without Alex's stream has spiralled out of control. Yeah, pretty much.
Control has spiralled out of this stream.
Connor, when will you apply for a Section 5 certificate, as I want to see semi-autos?
To be fair, we could have applied for it at any point up until now, because, I mean, we do a lot of manufacturing. But we require some unsolicited requests for Section 5 equipment. This is me not soliciting those requests to anyone who might be listening. No, seriously though, we actually
You do realise this is going to be played back in court now?
Yeah, no, that's fine. But we actually do have some unsolicited requests already. We do.
No, unsolicited advances. Different thing.
Yeah, different thing. But yeah, so we're actually in a very strong position to apply for Section 5 at the moment. So
we will see where it goes.
Yeah,
of course.
It's not, timing's not quite right at the moment for us because we can't do the infrastructure by ourselves. We'd have to certainly work with Blue Fieldsports on that front. So we have to wait until the timing is right for both of us to make the jump together, as it were.
Yeah, because no, it's definitely not being held back by me. Can't be, possibly. No viable reason.
No.
Anyway, moving
I'm
on.
bury you in a ditch and you're not a problem anymore.
Sinner 2004. Connors, you about on the 1st of September? Looks like you got a date.
1st of September, let me check the old calendar.
I'm coming down to Blue Fieldsports, hopefully meeting Callum too.
I would like you to make an appointment with my secretary, please. 1st of... Yeah, no, 1st September is a Tuesday, should be here. Why not?
I think there is already a...
If you if you've booked something for the 1st of September, and not put it in my calendar.
I was invited to that.
I looked over at just the wrong moment. Oh, that's an image that is seared into my memory.
Just to check, Sinner 2004.
You can't read out his personal name. You've had your PCI training this week.
Initials?
No. You can ask him to tell you who he is if he would like to. But you cannot give out any personal identity. So minor aside, I'm sure we're going to talk about it later, but Magload has recently joined up with Barclays, so we've got a proper card provider, which means they've given everyone PCI compliance training, which Callum almost fucked up on the second day.
How?
Just now. You're going to read out his name?
No, I wasn't. I consulted with my advisor.
You don't consult with your advisor. It's really fucking simple. You don't give out personal details. Fuck you! You limey little...
Racist.
Oh yeah, because I forgot I told you what that means now.
Basically, I think you Sinner 2004. So you said he's Simon. Yes,
yes.
You are in the diary. Although Connors was not invited,
so I won't be here. I will be. I'll be over there.
So I'm doing gunroom admin live on stream. How do I add you on there?
This is not the time to be dicking around with your computer.
No, I'll forget otherwise.
Yeah, he will. He forgets everything. So whilst he's dicking around with that, as he usually is, what you guys... 300 grain Sierra at 2,200 FPS. What gun is that out of?
Yes.
How long is your barrel?
Anyway, Sing Shooter, will you be at the British Shooting Show in February? If the British Shooting Show is going ahead, absolutely.
Yeah, might not be exhibiting. British Shooting Show is known for being a very expensive show to exhibit at. What we were doing last time is we had lots and lots of people that wanted to meet us, as well as we were doing the airgun surgeon. So we sort of made rough appointments with various dealers and stuff, went around and spoke to them as they wanted us to talk to. 18-inch, really? I need to see that on video.
That's bigger than Alex's hot dog.
Phrasing.
Oh dear.
There's going to be a hell of a fireball, 2,200 FPS out of an 18-inch barrel. Are you using pistol pouch? Is that safe? Don't answer that question.
But yeah, we tried to attend all of the shows, so Northern Shooting Show, Target Shooting Show. Actually on the show, it's not a show that I've actually been to, but the Countryman show, which I believe is going to be in September, is cancelled. So just a bit of show info for you there. But we're hopefully Rona gets out of it, goes away, and leaves us for a happier 2021. And hopefully all the shows will be back on. I'm sure there's a chance that people will still have masks at that point, but we should be able to do it. And I think most people have sort of written off this year, although there are competitions starting back up again. It's far too hot.
Quite a lot of competitions. There's also a mini rifle competition at Bisley, which you need to look into a bit more, because I'd quite like to do that.
That's some good info right there.
Yeah. I'll try and find some more information, because Ben was talking about it a bit earlier. You carry on talking while I...
Well, good segue. So I made a post about this today. You all know that I do like knives. I don't have a particularly good collection already, but this is certainly it's gone to the top step of my collection. So it's probably designed for much more fancier means and things. But
you're going to need to take it over to the camera. You need to do this thing some justice.
So let's have a quick look at this. So this is I can't actually remember.
Marmaduke.
No, what the sort of model is. That's really I'm gonna play with the focus here. I'm never gonna get it back. Let's have a quick look.
So the NRA mini rifle match is on the 6th of September at Bisley. It's £29.
So that's so this is from Marmaduke Creations. It's made here in the UK, and I will get the specs in a minute when I'm back at the computer. But I think it is absolutely beautiful. What I can't remember is that it's got 23 layers of steel, and you can see those.
That's what I call heavy metal.
Easy pun right there. You're so punny.
I know.
And it's got a Corin handle there, Corin white handle, and there's a reason for that, which I'm sure you all saw last week. Let's get focused back onto Conners.
For what?
There we go. You're still not any prettier.
People are saying that handling knives on YouTube. No, oh no, you got it. Handling knives on YouTube is against YouTube regulations. I really don't think it is, considering the amount of knife channels there are out there, especially they're all streamed.
No, it's only firearms and guns.
Yep.
Let me. So this.
Anyway, there can't be anything wrong with that. It's not black.
What if I spray painted it?
Only black guns are scary.
So it's a 5
Thick and short, just like Callum. Thank you, Dad. I love you.
So it's the Bushcraft Cleaver from Marmaduke Creations. There is a post on English Shooting if you want to find out a bit more about them. And it's a 5.5mm, 23 layered. Can you say that word for me, please?
So, Suminagashi.
Oh.
So it's short and thick. It's a chode.
It's a chode knife.
It's not. It's actually absolutely stunning. There are some photos up on the English Shooting page.
Yeah.
Alongside the English Shooting
Yes.
edition PPQ.
So some keen viewers would have seen a few weeks ago that I put out a survey to ask what finish, what handle I should have put on it, and it was 3 choices of woods. Unbeknownst to me, Alex and Conners had already made the decision for me, so it's this white Corin. So it's to match the ES edition Walther long barrel pistol, which again there's loads of photos of because I absolutely love it. And side by side, it is the perfect pair. And not only that, but it comes with this absolutely gorgeous. It's got this sort of like red tinge leather,
beautiful leather. And I know Marmaduke said himself he wasn't actually happy with that, but I think it's stunning.
I'm just absolutely over the moon with it, and I love the weight and feel of this knife, and genuinely, I know this is going to be sacrilege, but the genuine reason I wanted this was a biltong knife, because you can buy biltong in like long sticks, and of course that's really inconvenient because you never have a knife that's suited for cutting that sort of stuff. Hello, Nala, what do you think of my knife? Don't lick it. So yeah, very, very happy. And if you go on to Marmaduke Creations, either on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see a plethora of their creations.
Is the new website up and running?
There is going to be a website very, very soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, just go and check it out because the craftsmanship, these are all handmade here in the UK. He's got materials.
Quite local to us as well.
Yeah, he's been down here a few times. It's Mark, isn't it? It's Mark that owns and runs it. He's got materials like woolly mammoth tusk and tooth and ivory.
Hello.
It's
genuine
just,
mammoth tusk.
It's just absolute phenomenal.
Don't you start dribbling on my leg.
He can do, with a blade. So a huge shout out to him, and I am very, very happy with the end result. And I'm sure before long there will be another knife to join this, but we will have to wait and see for that one.
David Kiddle, are you planning on taking the knife on the plane? This is Callum, not Ryan.
So story time, because it's probably a long time if I have told this before on the stream, very long time ago. So this was completely by accident, not intentional in any single way, shape or form, but somebody that I was travelling with out to America forgot that his carry-on backpack was also his hunting backpack. Ended up taking on a knife that was probably the blade, probably about that. So I'm sat there, we're ready to sort of start taxiing, and I get a message from him. He's like 2 or 3 rows back, going, "Callum, I've got a problem." Tell me something I don't know, but I've got a knife. Well, why the hell are you telling me this? It's like, should I tell an air stewardess? No! Just no, just don't do it. So yes, Heathrow security, big thumbs up, because he had managed to get this like 7-inch hunting knife in his hand luggage on board the plane. We ended up
although a member of the Rifle World Shoot Squad didn't manage to accidentally sneak some 223 onto the plane.
Yes, true story.
Buried deep in a bag where no one could find it. It was like 22. It just fell somewhere.
Yeah, it just gets everywhere. So yeah, I can understand. He was absolutely petrified of the ramifications, but completely accidental. But they took my water off me. So like I couldn't, you know.
They didn't. They tried to take my Pepsi. They took my Pepsi off me on the
They
way
didn't try.
through.
They took it, but you put a protest up.
And then on the way back through, I think we've told the story about Ireland and the security
island.
guard.
Yeah, 2 girls, 1 cup.
I'm probably banned from flying into that airport anymore.
Yes.
It's fine.
Alex Florence, Callum, have you cut your hand on it yet? Very, very nearly. So no, seriously. So obviously, I'm going to be doing a video on this, and it's sort of like a review, but I'm absolutely besotted with it. So it's going to be hugely non-impartial.
How can you go from like really good vocabulary to like utter gibberish?
That's just what I do. So what I was testing was the retention of the sheath with the knife. So I'm giving it a good up and down. And I sort of had my hand like that ready to catch it. I didn't have it close enough, so lo and behold, I gave it a good tug. It slipped out, and luckily I have lightning fast reactions, and I did catch it by the handle. But maybe an inch or 2 up, it would have been a different story.
It's an extremely sharp knife. So I know, proper knife makers, they don't always sharpen the knife before sending it out to you.
Yep.
Marmaduke does, if that's something you're looking for.
Yep.
And they come out razor sharp.
It is a very, very, very sharp knife. We could do the paper test, although he said that's not.
It's not a real
test. No,
and it can do damage to the blade. Well, it'll blunt the blade and sharpen it.
So as it turns out, I shouldn't be left alone with guns or knives.
Or anything else, really.
I'm just a danger to myself.
Definitely not the cat.
Definitely not the cat. That sounds wrong.
Well, it was wrong.
Oh.
It went in your ear.
It went everywhere. My face was sticky.
What happened to the World Shoot guy with the errant rounds? I'm not going to go into too much detail, but he ended up, because he didn't know he had the round in the bag.
Yeah.
He ended up taking everything out of the bag, like absolutely everything, putting it back through the X-ray, and the round was still in there because it was like beneath like a folded flap of fabric. So he doing digging, managed to pull it out, gave it, showed it to the security.
Yeah.
At first, they were going to call the police, but then they decided it was an accident. He's flying with his FAC and his guns and his European Firearms Pass. He's clearly got authorization to have it, just so they confiscated it and he was on his way. I mean, don't mind the like 1,500 rounds he had flying in the Pelly case, which was all checked in, but that one round in it. Oh, I mean, it's taken it actually.
Yeah, on the plane.
In the cabin. So.
Completely different to how it is out in Vegas. After SHOT Show, which is, and I've not experienced this for myself yet, it is on the bucket list to go to SHOT Show. But apparently the airport security US side has an ammo drawer, and if you get buzzed going out of Vegas onto the plane, you hand over whatever has buzzed, and he literally opens this drawer of assortments of ammunitions and various stuff, drops it in, shuts it, and goes, go off. And again, it's SHOT Show. You know, we as shooters, like 2.2 is obviously the most notorious. It gets absolutely everywhere.
They're like BBs or airgun pellets.
Yeah, they fall everywhere. Like 9mm as well.
Actually, not airgun pellets because they're getting silly expensive now. But.
So they get everywhere. It's like a genuine mistake. It is just unfortunate that obviously, you know, our laws here are so sort of unforgiving on that sort of thing. Even if it is a complete mistake, I certainly wouldn't want to go anywhere near an airport with a live round. Certainly not intentionally. It's a funny story. When I was shooting in London, I used to wear a lot of hoodies shooting. I'm sure the previous videos you can see that. And all of the spent brass, because they always stuck me on the very end of the range.
Boo-hoo.
The range. Well, it's because I was the only one shooting a semi-auto, and they didn't like being showered. So I'd be firing, and there are a few videos.
They didn't like being showered by the semi.
And Alex's footlong. So
you've got to get it.
There's actually some of the first videos on English shooting. It's after filming those videos. So I'm shooting. I think it was like I was doing a review of the Fab Defense Gripod or whatever.
The thing is, I always find it funny when you talk about doing reviews, because you don't do reviews. Now, a good YouTuber, like Neil Ragg over at Rack and Load, he does reviews.
Hi Neil. I just pick nice products and say nice things about them. But no, so I'm shooting and it's hitting the wall, and all of the brass is deflecting into my hoodie. Now I leave the range; it's quite cool, but I go down onto London Bridge tube station. It's, you know, if you've ever been on the tube in London, it's humid down there. It's hot. It's sticky. So of course I go to take my hoodie off. And what ends up emptying all over the tube platform, a load of 2.2 brass. And the look of horror on the woman's face, and then my quick swiftness to hit the deck and start picking it all up, stuffing it into my pockets.
The thing is it's just brass. It's actually, there's nothing wrong with that. But
No.
I suppose it just goes to show the stigma attached to firearms and shooting in general over here.
Absolutely.
Where people are terrified of empty brass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's also an interesting thing travelling with guns across London.
Hey, look, Arius is judging your reviews.
What do they say about stone and glass houses?
Yeah.
So, love you, Arius.
He doesn't.
No, I'll bet.
You pissed him off.
Which in fairness, is a very easy thing to do.
It is.
But anyway, so there was times where I used to go to Dartford Clay Shooting Centre, club, range, whatever, and I'd carry my Silver Pigeon through London, you know, on various, you know, transport in its case, and of course in a shotgun, an over and under shotgun, broken down and in its case, unless you know what it is, you don't know what it is. But every now and then, maybe one in like 20 or 30 people would sort of give that look, which is like, I know what's in there,
Yeah.
and you know what's in there, and no one else knows what's in there.
So
So it's like, get the fuck away from me, you weirdo.
It actually reminded me of something. It's a story I haven't told you guys, because it's a very short story. So I used to carry my guns to and from the Lord Roberts Centre in a rectangular gun case, and I got asked all the time if I played the keyboard, because that's what it looked like. It looked like a keyboard case.
Yep.
Except for anyone who knew what they were looking at, there's a little NSRA badge on the bag, and every now and again you get that look from someone or a smile, someone else who knew exactly what was in the bag.
I would have taken you more as a sitar player. Moving on.
It came out his nose. Live, you saw it here first. Actually, it's not the first time that has happened.
No, it's really not.
You need to go blow your nose.
No, I sucked it all back in, it's fine.
Oh, what? Did you allow Florence's comment?
Did I allow it?
Oh, I must have allowed it.
Someone did.
It got held for review.
I think you just watched instant karma happen. Oh, I've got Pepsi Max in my brain.
There is nothing wrong with that. Speaking of which...
Oh, refill. Don't forget 2 slabs of 12 gauge. So I thought you said it was 3.
One for us,
Oh,
and 2
okay.
for Kiddle.
Okay. Yes. Don't worry, David.
The 2 for David come from here.
Yeah.
Or from the store, but...
Oh, I've had a bit of a head rush from that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Tarek, you were telling me about this last time you were down. He took his AK into BMW. Luckily, no one knew it was in the case.
Say hello to my little friend. Oh, thank you, Mr. E30. As a username, I see a fair amount. Appreciate that. Happy to make the content. Not so happy to experience Pepsi Max up the nose, but there we go.
Why not? It's a glorious experience.
Carl Volt, hi Carl, hope you're doing well. A buddy of mine transported a brain gun on the metro in a cello case. It was fun until a cello player asked him to open it. I can play a tune on it if you want.
I can play a tune, but it only plays one note and it's very loud.
And it's very repetitive. Add H.
Browning
Don't make that sound.
I've only really had experience with the Tika, so can't really offer much. We've got
No,
the T3X isn't there.
There used to be, but of course this is a shop and it got sold. Actually, I think to Nick maybe. Did Nick
Alex is away with the fairies. I wouldn't worry about it.
here.
He's playing a game called Monument Valley. Apparently.
I'm not actually. I'm texting someone.
Okay.
But who what?
Did you sell a T3X to Nick?
Yes.
Yeah.
T3X Super Varmint.
Yep.
Great gun.
And was that the one off the wall?
No, that was ordered in specially for him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where
So-
did the one on the wall go?
That was a T1X,
T1X. Okay.
which is the rimfire version.
Ah,
That
fourth
was
person
in
version.
Cool. Where is it?
So no, the Browning X Bolt is certainly something I'd like to shoot alongside a T-Cut. I don't know if you put them in the same category necessarily because they're two completely different actions, aren't they?
Again, two guns that I've been meaning to get out and actually experience. They're very, very popular. I don't know a huge amount about them. I've handled the Tikkas a fair amount because Alex stocks Tikka here, so I have experienced. There is also a demo. It's actually behind us. It is the Tikka TAC A1. There's more to the name of that.
It's a Tikka T3 Tacta with a T
Tact.
on the end
TAC.
because there was or may or may not have been
Can we
some
just shorten
infringement.
it? Can we just shorten it to Tic Tac?
It's the
It's the Tic Tac.
it's the Tic Tac.
We're gonna have to do it. Orange
There
and
is
white.
there is actually a full review of that done by CJ over on Gunroom TV.
Mhm.
But yeah, Nick, if you want to come and teach me how to do some stalking or some rough shooting, or
Like
some
you
quarry
keep
shooting.
begging people to take you stalking, and
And
then
no
when they say to you yes, but you're going to have to get up at 4 a.m. You're like,
No. No. Why is everyone so obsessed with shooting being such a morning sport? I don't get it.
I do.
It's like the match. We have to be there for 8 o'clock.
That's not early.
That's the middle of the night. Like, seriously, I didn't give up a 9 to 5 to get up at 8 still, or before. I'm gonna have to get up at 7.
If you're only up at 7 for a match that's being registration opens at 8,
I'm very efficient with my time.
I'm leaving at 7:15.
Yeah, but I drive. I'm the Civic, so I can leave 15 minutes later anyway.
So you're going to wake up and leave.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that explains the smell every day.
Dawn and dusk deer are most active. So dusk, I've got no problem with
Why
dusk.
do you want them to be active? Don't you want them to be standing still so it's easier to shoot them?
Yeah. No, maybe it's a sport. It's like, going up and point blanking a pheasant in the face isn't as challenging as getting it in the sky.
Yeah, Florence.
Alex Florence has an unfortunate reputation for pillowing.
He is the
birds.
pillow maker.
I did see Dan saying, "Wait, did my Vortex AMG move? It was behind." Wait, was that Alex? The AMG? You sold that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, was that?
Yeah, the
Was,
Vortex
was I
AMG.
not meant to sell it?
That was Daniel's.
Oh.
Well, that's embarrassing. So Daniel, we'll have another one for you very soon.
Okay, at first I thought you guys were joking, but...
Well, there was an...
Maybe Callum should look over his left shoulder.
It's there.
Oh, it's there.
Don't worry, Daniel.
Where? Oh,
It's
there.
right here.
Of all the dickheaded things you've done today. There it is.
There we go. So
Well, you had me going. That's for sure.
it's the so as Daniel says.
You're gonna have to give it 5 minutes for Dan to clamber back up off the floor.
I was gonna say something like, yeah, 500 quid's a good price for one, wasn't it? So this is like, well, this is the top tits of Vortex, isn't it? This really is like the top that they do. Let's just pull this one off here. There we go. Let's see what this one is.
It'd probably survive.
It would, and lifetime warranty. Shall we test it, Daniel? So it is the Vortex by 50 AMG on the spur mount. That is a chunky boy mount, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's got a spirit level in it as well.
Interesting.
It's obviously got standard vortex throw lever.
As we, which
on
we all
it.
know is
But-
not
but-
standard at all.
But Daniel, again, has a really, really kind heart in lending me all of these really Gucci bits of kit. I slagged off the MRO enough for him to send it back, so I see what I can do with this. But I will be getting it on a gun at some point. She blows, Captain. But
Poor
yeah,
Dan.
poor Dan. I don't know why he puts up with it.
Yeah.
Twice tonight, you two have hurt me. The MRO HD switcheroo and the AMG scare. God damn. Yeah, well,
At the end of the day, you still should have returned the HD and just got
Yes.
a standard MRO.
yes, we still stand by that consumer advice that we bullied you into doing.
Yep.
But at the end of the day,
Don't succumb to peer pressure, kids.
no. Apart from
Just Connor's pressure.
just Connor's pressure. Apart from buying Magload, you should definitely buy Magload.
Always buy Magload. On that
Magload-
note, should we talk about Magload?
Yes,
We've
well,
got 20
well
minutes
we've had this half. No, can't touch it.
Don't you illegal all over that.
So some of you would have seen a few days ago that I released a review on the absolutely incredible Battle Arms PDW monolithic bad ambi, and you would not believe the amount of crap that I've got for using the term PDW.
But you've not used the term PDW, it's the name of the gun.
I can't touch it.
What are you looking at?
Is this a PDW?
This is not a PDW.
Okay, so
This is the lightweight.
well,
I'm
it
not
does
too
have,
sure.
it has LW on it. So
Yeah,
I
I
guess
think it's the lightweight.
So, but basically the PDW, which is obviously in usual terms is an acronym for personal defence weapon, right?
It's the name of the gun.
It is the name of the gun. It's
Yeah.
no different to the 522 SWAT or the 552 Commando or the M&P, the Military and Police 1522.
1522.
Or all the things that are called tactical or anything like that. It's just what it's called, and that's what I wasn't referring to it as a personal defence weapon. That's just the name of it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So a lot of people saw and commented on the magwell that was on the PDW. Of course, it's something that has never before been seen before on
Yeah.
Magload.
never been done before.
Not only is it a unique looking magwell, which we did to preserve the aesthetic of the battle arms, which is probably one of the reasons you buy it, but also it's an extremely different shape to any magwell we've ever done before.
Mhm.
And tonight, I'm doing my best to show you why it is the shape that it is. It is a magwell designed for full bore rifle shooting, still good for 2.2 as well.
Yep.
But it's made to run a D60 magwell as well as all of the other magazines you might try to use. So it looks very different to a lot of magwells we've done before. I've been working on this D60 geometry for a really long time, and you're going to see it coming to some other mil-spec magwells. I'll rephrase that, to some other full-bore rifle magwells.
Yep.
So I'm not going to mention the other one that's coming, but these are in production currently. They are finished testing.
Yep.
As far as I understand it, it was now, with a small tweak, it is now compatible with all Battle Arms lowers, including some of the new ones that aren't here yet, which has got a small change somewhere, but this will still fit.
So I mentioned in the video that so it's Cotswold Classic Arms. You can also come through to Blue Fieldsports to order these as well. So Otto is sort of aiming or is already sort of a wholesaler distributor for Battle Arms.
He's the exclusive distributor, UK distributor for Battle Arms.
So he's the UK exclusive distributor for Battle Arms. Both Connors and I were just so impressed with the bad ambi that I reviewed. I've put the link in the chat thing for you to go and have a look at.
The ambi's cool, but the reason why I have this receiver set here, which is not the ambi, is because the claim is, and we are going to be doing a video on this eventually, the claim is that this receiver set with a buffer tube is lighter than a Smith & Wesson receiver set, 1522.
Which, if that is the case, it completely flips the biggest plus of the 1522 for me. Apart from
it
cost,
doesn't,
apart from
because
cost.
this receiver set alone can cost you what an entire 1522 does. So that's something to bear in mind.
And
You
this
think that's bad? You fell in love with the ambi.
Well, yeah, the Ambi. So the Ambi, for those of you that don't know, is, well, a basic model without the monolithic stock you can get for sort of £2,300, £2,000. And something that I don't think I stressed enough in the video was that these aren't meant to be 2.2, right?
No,
they are intended to be 5.56 mil spec, top grade milled receiver sets. Every single thing about them is just above ordinary, you know, at the bare minimum. Like, you know, they go to put a mil-spec trigger in it and they have to improve it. So it's an improved mil-spec trigger. Just every little fine detail is improved. And, you know, £2,000 or £3,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 out in the States is not the limit of where ARs can go.
And actually these are not, in terms of high-end AR receiver sets, even though these are what I would consider probably some of the best receiver sets I've ever seen, they're still not the most expensive.
No.
But little details wise, there are things like some people put that silicon chip in the back to take out the rattle between receivers. This has a built-in screw with a nylon tip on it, so you can take that out. That's a very common thing seen on high-end receivers.
Yeah.
But some of the most difficult takedown pins are, sort of not takedown pins, some of those difficult pins to remove on the gun are actually shouldered Allen key bolts, so you can remove and refit them with ease. It's a competition gun dream because everything is so easily serviceable without hammers and punches.
And the Magwell,
and the tinkerer's dream as well.
The Magwell is distinctive, although obviously I touched upon this in the video that obviously it's been covered here with the Magwell, with the Magload Magwell. But just like all the other Magload Magwells, it made it an absolute dream to load. And I love the fact that you've kept the aesthetic of the through hole, because that is a very distinctive feature of the battle arms, having that sort of V shape. So it is very much on the wish list all the time that the 1522 is running golden. It's very hard to justify, but I think both of our plans, probably you're going to get round to doing this sooner.
My plan is actually to build a full bore gun out of the battle arms, and I will be getting a COMG 2.2 kit to run in it as well. Maybe somewhere down the line get a second upper, but I'm very happy with my Smith at the moment, so we'll have that as a 2.2, and then as money permits, build a complete 2.2 upper for the battle arms so I can switch.
And I think long-term plan for me, obviously tickets depending, I would love to do the same. You know, yes, it's a lot of money, but you buy, say, the receiver sets.
But you don't mind because it's my money you're spending.
I spend my own money too.
You should. You've got more of it.
So yeah, basically, I'd love to do the same. And you know, being based at an RFD, building a gun isn't as difficult as it usually is for FAC holders, because we can store parts as part of the RFD. We build guns for people that way all the time, where you know they've got the slot for the ticket, but they end up buying all the parts piecemeal. And you know, when you sort of break it down like that, you know, yeah, 600 quid for a receiver set, then maybe, you know, another 500-600 quid for a barrel. But if you can space it out over the course of a year or two, then it makes it a lot more doable, and loads of content for the channel, building a UK legal 2.2 AR-15. Big thanks to Nick. Thank you very much. Really appreciate the support.
And yes, I will, most definitely. I've already picked out their tweed this season.
Oh dear.
I've got my own tweed.
I'm actually.
He has, and he looks like an Arabian prince.
I'm actually due to be in some level of tweed within the next few days. Next week.
Oh yeah, you're going to break your shoulder.
A check shirt doesn't count.
Well, it's more tweed than I would use.
Definition, not tweed.
But I will also.
Unless it's a tweed shirt.
But I will also have.
That would be very uncomfortable.
That would be very uncomfortable.
That would be
yes,
very uncomfortable.
that will chafe. Wait, so can we handle ammunition on YouTube live streams?
I think so.
I don't know.
I think you can. It's only firearms. Go get it.
Or could the hand of God place some ammunition on the table?
Show us the trophy.
I don't know, you're risking it. I don't know.
I think it'll be
Firearms
fine.
or ammunition.
We've only got like 10
Okay.
minutes left of the stream anyway, so if they pull it, it's fine.
Just go for it. If we go down, guys, we're going down with the ship.
Well, it might go down forever.
Oh, that's a good point. We won't risk that then.
Okay.
What caliber?
375 H&H.
Yeah.
Holland.
375 Holland and Holland.
It's a dangerous game caliber.
Yeah. So
It's the size, the cartridge overall is the length and girth of a 338 lap mag, but the bullet is almost the same width as the case. It's monstrous. 300 grains, was it?
300 grains.
Do you know what the speed is of that thing?
I don't know.
No?
Oh, it might tell me on the box. I
It's
have
something
so I'm going to be doing some filming with 100.
2,540 feet per second.
2,500.
300 grains.
I was incredulous at 300 grains at 2,200. 2,500. Out of how long is that barrel? Like 18 inches?
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna.
It's got some kind of muzzle brake on it though. Not like it's really small, but it's on
gonna
there.
do nothing. There is way too much gas for it to be able to do anything with that.
So yeah, I wish me luck.
Yeah, Paul. Paul Robinson, in retribution for all the rounds you've made us shoot, we've got to come for you to shoot.
I'm also on the same note. I'm not going to talk too much about it because we need to talk about the customer that we're doing this for. But I will also be shooting a couple of, well, it will be public knowledge at some point. I'm also shooting a very, very nice pair, matched pair of side-by-sides. I'm going up in the world.
Yeah. That's
Tweed and wood. That's all me, isn't it?
When you get a nice side by side with a polymer stock, let me know.
It's not black.
Confortec preferably.
Oh dear, we've got to make that happen.
Florence has worked out the power factor of the 375, approximately 754, which puts it 4 points over the limit for IPSC shotgun. It is too powerful for IPSC.
Major power factor then.
Yeah, and then some.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. But you'll get to see me break my shoulder on camera. That's
just lean forward into it and make sure it's in your shoulder when you pull the trigger.
I'm gonna wince like a little bitch. That's for sure. Something that we haven't talked about, which I think is actually very important, sort of for the growth and promotion of our sport, is an organisation that I have previously been a member of, the NSRA. And again, long-term fans of the channel will remember a lot of filming that has happened down at the NSRA. It's where I used to do a lot of the videos and a lot of the reviews, because the 25-metre outdoor range was never in use and I had the whole thing to myself, which was perfect for filming. But the NSRA, and there's a link on English Shooting, on Gunroom TV, and of course on the NSRA Facebook page, and the NSRA being the National Small Bore Rifle Association. I still don't know why they haven't got a B in there, just make it a bit easier for the dyslexics. No, small bores are one. Small bore, one word?
Yes.
That's why there's not a B in it.
Small bore and full bore are one word.
Never mind. Moving on swiftly.
Anyway, I have a lot of love for the NSRA. It is, after all, where I started my shooting career and my teaching career. I know you've had problems in the past.
Well, the problems that I've had in the past, I think as an organisation they have finally sort of realised.
They seem to be a lot more progressive than I remember them.
Yes, so I remember a display of anything black, anything tactical, anything semi-auto, and it became quite tiresome, and it was part of the reason that I ended up leaving the organisation is that for the National Small Bore Rifle Association, they didn't know what a 2.2 semi-auto was. But there's a survey that they've released.
There wasn't it was the range officer on deck at the time.
There were a few. But yes, I can understand that they have members of staff there that don't have an interest in shooting, but just like any organisation or any range, there are just sort of generic jobs where people that won't know a huge amount about shooting will make mistakes, on the particulars of shooting. But anyway, they've released this survey, so go and find the link either on the English Shooting Facebook page or stuff it. I'll stop being lazy and I will post it.
I'm just going to say, if it wasn't for the NSRA, I probably wouldn't be into shooting in the way I am now.
Well, if it wasn't for the NSRA, I don't think English Shooting would be the way it is now.
Yeah, so we've got a lot to thank them for. I think a Magload wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the NSRA. Because if I wasn't into three position shooting, I wouldn't have gotten into all the
later.
gear. I wouldn't have gotten into all the gear, and I wouldn't have gotten into starting to design stuff because I was making stuff from all the way back then.
So what this survey is basically they've recognised as an organisation that they perhaps don't have the best reputation, that they haven't been necessarily as progressive as the community would like them to be. So they are basically giving a completely, it doesn't matter if you're a member or not, they've opened their doors and they are asking for feedback on the organisation.
Yeah.
Now, as practical shooters, as IPSC or 3-gun shooters, the one thing that has always bugged me is that they don't seem to include any practical 2.2, and with it.
And for the Small Bore Rifle Association, considering they cover clay pigeon shooting for some weird reason, they really should be.
So if you are into your mini rifle, you're into your practical 2.2 shooting, go and hit up that survey and recommend that they encompass a lot more than just what they are currently, currently being the head of the organisation or the head here in the UK. But they're asking other questions in terms of what's important for a member. Where should they be focusing their time on more, say, communication with their members? Should they be more proactive in defending the sport and stuff like that?
Something interesting about that survey is I took it twice.
Yeah.
Because I realised the survey is actually responsive. It changes the questions depending on what you answer.
Yep.
And I noticed, because of the way the survey was worded, with my particular history, what happened is I was a member of the NSRA, and then I left shooting completely. So when I answered that question, all the questions I got after that are, why don't you shoot anymore, and that sort of stuff.
Sure.
So I went back and changed my answer so it could give me more relevant questions to my current situation.
Yep.
But it's very interesting because it's a responsive survey. Everyone's going to get slightly different questions. I think it's a really good way to go about it because they're going to get points of view from all walks of life. And I noticed, I'm not going to say a heavy practical presence on the survey, but they certainly mention it more than at least 3 times.
Yes.
So maybe they have.
I think as an organisation they have realised that practical shooting is growing probably faster than any other discipline within UK shooting sports, maybe even internationally as well. And again, it's like, the National Small Bore Rifle Association should have an interest in everything small bore.
Hey, and maybe through them we can get the first IPSC mini rifle range set up.
How awesome would that be? And even at the Lord Roberts Centre, being there so many times, like, you could easily hold like a level 3 match at the Lord Roberts Centre,
and then some.
And then some, and think of Action Air as well, right? They've got huge halls. They were doing, when I used to go, there was always people, because it was always after work, and
there's ice hockey. Yeah,
there's people doing like ice, obviously not actual ice, but they had roller skates.
Well,
they would put down.
No. They have these ice rinks that they can put away. I don't think it's like ice. It might be like a dry, like the grid.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. I don't really remember, but I always remember people in the hockey gear, and it was more than just rollerblades. They're on blades.
So I used to be down there all the time because I lived in Godalming, which wasn't too far away from Bisley, and I'd get home from work, probably about 6 o'clock. And I think the Lord Roberts Centre was open till like 8 or 9 o'clock, and there was still enough time for me to sort of, pack the bag, get down there, enjoy some range time for half an hour or an hour. So, it did disappoint me that it seemed that attitude was a little bit, say, stuffy in the past. But this survey is hugely promising. But this survey is only promising if people go and spend the time to give feedback on the organisation. And there's no point. It's like moaning about politics and not voting. Like, you can't sit there and moan about something if you're not willing to go and have an input and have your voice heard.
The NSRA are clearly willing to go out and
so
hear
more
what
power.
we have to say, so
more power to them, and hopefully we can see some really sort of progressive things. Will you attempt anything with WWSD KP15 polymer forward set? A straight pull or 227?
Never heard of it. If one appeared, then I would probably build something out of it. But I don't know. Is it expensive? Should we buy one?
We'll have a look. But we are soon approaching. We start we'll start the wind down
21
now.
seconds to go.
21 seconds. Connors actually has to be up fairly early tomorrow to get up to the
What's the
match.
one?
But before you all disappear, please again make sure that you've hit that thumbs up button. It really does help support the channel. Gzerp saying do some reviews on the 5.56 AR and AKs. Yes, if we get them in.
Are you just talking about general 5.56 ARs and general AKs?
Well, like semi-autos or full autos are going to be a little bit hard, but we do have some straight pull AR-15s in 223 that should be available. So yeah, I'll try and get some more on the channel. Now that it's not absolutely baking out there, I should hit the range and get some filming done. But there, I think we'll wrap it up there, guys. But as always, it's been an interesting evening, but we really appreciate everyone joining and getting involved. It's going to be same time, same place next week, 7:30 here at the Blue Fieldsports gunroom on Thursdays on English Shooting. But thank you to Alex, thank you to Connors.
Oh, he's still with us.
Just about
falling asleep.
No, I'm still here. You are very boring, but I'm still here.
One last thing before we go, on the note of those belt clips.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thanks for watching, guys.